All right, course 2, we're in lesson 92, and today we're going to be covering the lesson that deals with percent of change. Okay, so uh, typically we write a box that looks something like this, and the first column is literally the percent of change. Okay, so this will be part, this will be part, and this will be total. All right, now when we think about total of a percent is always 100%. So for instance, if we have 70 as part and we don't know what this one is, we can just do the subtraction of 100 minus 70 and we can come up with 30% for our other part. Okay, so that's kind of how we work with this. Okay, so as we consider this, let's just put 100% down here and look at this. Now, this is our actual count. And by actual count, we're actually going to have numbers in here for things like 70% of the people went and ate lunch. If there were 250 people at 70%, so we would write down 70% and 250 people, right? So this is the actual number that's associated with whatever percentage. Okay, now we're not going to be focusing on that necessarily quite yet, so let's look at example 1 and see how this works. Okay, example 1 says the country's population increased 15% from 1980 to 1990. All right, so a couple things that we need to know. All right, first of all, we need to know the original. What was the original percent? Well, the original is 100%, and if it increased 15%, that means we can put 15 here, but what has to change is this total down here, and it goes to 115%. Okay, the original is 100%. We increased 15. All right, now this was in 10 years. All right, so it says 1980 to 1990. If the population in 1980, all right, here is 1980, and this is going to be the 1990 percentage down here. Okay, all we did was we added 10 years. Okay, 1980, the number was 120,000 people. All right, so what we don't know is the new people. Okay, right here, and we don't know is how many that will eventually include. Okay, now the good thing is about this whole scenario is that if you have 2 out of 3, excuse me, 3 out of 4 things, you can find this x. We can satisfy this. Okay, watch what happens. All right, we're going to put this into a fraction or an actual known, and we can solve for this. Okay, if we have 100 over 15, okay, all I did was take these two numbers right here and put them in a fraction, equals, and it's going to equal these two numbers, 120,000 over x. I can solve for x. How do I do that? I cross multiply. So I say 15 times 120,000 equals 100x. How do I get x by itself? I divide by 100 on both sides. These cancel off, and this is my equation to find out what x equals. Okay, now I can cancel off 2 zeros here and just do 15 times 1200 to come up with this. Once I get that, I can add 120,000 to this new number and get my new amount. All right, so it's about filling in this these charts in a proper way. All right, let's go to another one. Okay, let's go to example 2. All right, example 2. All right, example 2 helps us with this kind of thinking, and it gives us just a different look. It says the price was reduced. So instead of increase, okay, here's the percent, here's our actual numbers, okay, just to keep you there. It says that the price was reduced 30%. So what do we know? Well, we know the original was 100%. And if it was reduced 30%, we can put minus 30% here, which our total is going to equal 70%. Okay, now let's get the numbers in here. If the sale price was $24.50, what was the original? So we don't know what this is. We do know what our sale price is. Well, what's the sale price? That wasn't the 30%. You have to be careful here. The sale price was here, $24.50. Why didn't I put it in 30? Well, I subtracted 30% to get a 70%. I'm paying 70% of the total. If I was only paying 30%, that price would go way down. Okay, now we need to know what the actual is. Okay, now watch this very careful. I'm going to take a highlighter and I'm going to tell you the 2 boxes we're going to use, or 4 boxes we're going to use in order to create our chart. I want to find out what X is. Okay, so watch what I do. I'm going to put this into an equation again. I'm going to say 100 over 70. Did you see what numbers I used? This number and this number equals this number and this number equals X over 2450. Okay, once I have an equal sign, I can cross multiply. So I can say 70x equals 100 times 2450. So really, I divide by 70 on both sides. If I do that, I have x equals, and then I can combine this, right? $24.50 times 100 is 2,450 over 70. Okay? And then I can do this division problem. I can even shorten this, cancel off the zeros, and really 7 divided into 245. I can do this quickly. 21, 35, and that is of course 5. So I have 35. So my original price was $35. Now, how do I find out what the discount was? Well, I take the original $35 and subtract $24.50, and I can come up with my discount. Okay, so this can go into that as well. All right, so this is the kind of problem that you're going to get. All right, let's go to one more. Let's go to example 3. Example 3 says this: a merchant bought an item at wholesale for $20 and marked the price up 75%. Wow. Okay, here's the percents, here's the actual numbers. All right, so we have the original, which was 100%. Okay, and it says he marked it up, and I always put a positive out here to show which direction I'm going to help me with this total. Okay, because I'm adding, this is going to be 175% this time, not 25%. Okay, if this were a subtraction sign, then I would say it would reduce 20 or 75%, would give me which would give me 25%, 175. Okay, so it says, all right, 75% to sell the item at retail. What was a merchant's retail price for the item? Well, it was $20. Okay, so the 100% equals this $20 item. Okay, and it asks us what the new price is. So it asks us these two. So again, we are going to use 2 boxes. We're going to use this box and we're going to use this box because they're both connected, right? They're both, we can make an equal statement out of those. Okay, 100 over 175 equals 20 over x. I cross multiply. I've got 175 times 20 equals 100 times x. I divide by 100. I divide by 100. This drops out, and x equals 175 times 20 divided by 100. And I can solve for this part of it. So you need to have these grids. You need to have these boxes, okay, to help you. You need to tell what's happening. Is it adding a percent or is it subtracting a percent? Which one? In this case, we're adding. And then what's our total? Those are important things to put in. And if you do that, you'll be able to solve these problems really easy and really accurately. Okay? All right. That's it for today's lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will do the best I can to help you during class.